All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Miners Weekend Edition. It is Sunday afternoon, so I just want to catch everybody up before next week starts. So I just want to go through where the equities were when we closed on Friday, take a look at what's happened to Bitcoin over the weekend, and then I have a chart I want to go through regarding the Fear and Greed Index, because I think it is showing a big signal, and I want to go through what that is and see what that might mean for us in the future. So let's dive in. Everybody, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also please smash the like button for us. And lastly, there is a link in the pinned comment to our free Discord, so you're welcome to join us over there. Early Friday morning, Bitcoin dipped and all of the equity markets opened, and they were red all day Friday. So when we look at the big board here, you will see that it is mostly red. There are a few exceptions, as always. Hive was actually up 1.44%. Argo Blockchain was green, but 0.3%. And TeraWolf was up 3.56%. So a few outliers. However, mostly this board was red, and a lot of it was very red. Some of the bigger Bitcoin miners, RIOT was down 9.6%, Marathon was down 5.78%, Core Scientific was down 8.55%. So those are the three biggest ones. They took a big hit. Bitfarms did okay, down just 1%. CleanSpark was down almost 5%. So I'll give you a minute to look at the board. And again, this was where the equity markets closed for the NASDAQ on Friday. So all the indexes were down, Bitcoin was down, and most of the Bitcoin miners were red, so not the greatest Friday. So let's see if we can get them Monday. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to Bitcoin on the 30-minute time frame. And as always, you will see an orange line. This is where the equity markets closed on Friday. So Bitcoin was trading at $29,538 when the equity markets closed on Friday. And you can see we've got a little bit of momentum going here since this morning on Sunday. For the last 6 or 8 hours, we've been heading up a little bit. We're consistently over 30,000 at the moment. I believe we need to hold 29,400 by the end of the day today in order to finish in the green this week. So you can see since the close on Friday, we really have not dipped below that number. So we were at 29,538. A couple of times we tested this line over the weekend. We've been hovering in a very, very tight range, which continues to be the case. Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, and you'll see same thing. We now have 4 green candles in a row on the 4-hour time frame. So there is a little bit of momentum that is picking up right now. And, the last time this happened, we had a bunch of green candles, and then bang, we fell right back down to where we started. So that has been the trend recently. We just can't seem to break out of this very tight trading range. And you'll see this weekend, the trading range got even tighter than usual. We've really been within about $500 or $600 all weekend long. So super tight trading range. But let's take a look at what some of the indicators are showing us. So on the 4-hour time frame, I've been keeping my eye on this one. You'll see back on June 2nd, when we had put a bunch of these green candles together in a row, the RSI at the 4-hour time frame got all the way up to about 50, and then as normal, it got rejected at 50 and bounced back down. But you can see we've climbed all the way back above that now. We are currently at almost 53 on the 4-hour RSI. So this is a trend that we'd like to see if it can continue, because you can see this was just May 31st. The RSI on the 4-hour time frame can get up to 80, so it can get into overbought territory, and we can get a nice little run up. But we got to really confirm this cross over 50 right now. So that's one of the things I'm looking for between now and the market open in the morning tomorrow. You can see that we have a bullish crossover on the MACD last night, actually overnight into the morning. So we're just getting going, picking up some momentum here as well, starting with some green candles. So the 4-hour RSI looks encouraging, but we've been down this road many times, and we have not yet gotten out of this very tight range. Okay, now I'm gonna take a look at the 1-day time frame. So here we go again. We had this about 3 weeks of a descending wedge pattern here, and we broke to the upside, but really we broke to the upside and then broke right back down into the same trading range. This line of resistance here, we never even really tested, and that is at 33,000 approximately. We got to about 32,300, so we didn't really get close to that. So again, really, if I look at the last full month, if I was to draw a line straight across here, this is just very sideways for a full month now, trading inside a very tight range, with the exception of the fact that on May 12th, we flash crashed down to around 25,000. So we're now almost a month later, and we have not gotten anywhere near that since. The red line at 28,800 has been holding on the daily time frame. You'll see these are all daily candles. We've basically been closing at or near this line at the worst, and for the last week, we've been fairly reasonably above that line, and we have not retested this line in almost a week. However, that doesn't mean that we can't retest it. Right now, everything is very sideways, so it would be no surprise at all if we were to go retest 28.8 in the meantime. Also, I'm still saying that without any strong indication one way or the other, it's possible retest 25,000. I do, however, think we are moving towards a bullish run. I'm going to show you one of the indicators that I think is showing that. Okay, this is the fear and greed index going back to February of 2018. So you'll see I drew a blue box at extreme fear over that period of time. And then I've got 4 red boxes where the crypto fear and greed index has gone into extreme fear and stayed there for greater than a month. So it's really only happened 4 times. We have had other times where it's dipped in and out of extreme fear, but there were 4 times where we just stayed straight in extreme fear for an extended period of time. So I'm going to take these 4 red lines and you're going to see I'm going to chart them on the Bitcoin chart, because each one of these I think was a pretty strong signal that a bottom was in. Now you will see sometimes that means we traded sideways for a little while after that. The first 3 of these were followed by a very big run up in Bitcoin, and this one is the one that we are in currently right now. So if history holds, it looks like we're in for some more sideways activity and then a nice run. Okay, so first I'm going to look at this one. This was back in November and December of 2018. So if we go back, you'll see this was November and December of 2018. Bitcoin had a big pullback. If we go from the top to the bottom, you'll see this Bitcoin pulled back about 55%. So that was the period of time that we were in extreme fear. We kind of moved out of extreme fear, and then you'll see, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we do get some very sideways action after that. So we had a few months, January, February, March, where we were sideways, but then Bitcoin took off. And you can see from the bottom to the top of that run was a 354% increase in the price of Bitcoin. That is what followed the first period of extended extreme fear. And I define that as by 1 to 2 months of solidly in extreme fear without leaving. So the next one you'll see here is in March and April of 2020. And we all remember what that was. And so that was a quick drop into extreme fear again for 1 to 2 months. So if I go back to the Bitcoin chart, this circle right here represents that period. So here is March and April of 2020. Of course, this coincided with a flash crash in the market, a big crash in Bitcoin. So let's take a look. From the top to the bottom, this one was actually about a 64% crash in Bitcoin in, just about 1 month. So that was a quick drop. The whole world, all the markets experienced the same thing. But you will see after that, this one we actually came out of quite quickly. This was more of a V-shaped recovery and then some sideways activity. However, that led into this gigantic run. Over the course of about the next year from the low to the high, this was almost a 1,600% increase in the price of Bitcoin. And again, we did have a period where we went sideways, and this one was even longer than the last one. It was June, July, August, even into September and October before we really took off. So this was about 4 months of slow activity. The last time we had an extended period in extreme fear was in May and June and July of 2021. So again, if I go to the chart, I've circled that same period here. This is April, May, June, and July of 2021. So you'll see we had another precipitous drop in Bitcoin from the high to the low. That was about 55%. So in that instance, again, that extended period in extreme fear resulted in this nosedive here of about 55%. And then in this instance, we really had a much quicker recovery. From the bottom back to the top, this was a 138% increase from the bottom back to the top. So not as big of a run up, but still more than a double. And that happened quickly. There was no sideways activity. That just recovered straight away. You'll see there was another big downturn in Bitcoin here that I don't have circled. So that was a 51% pullback in Bitcoin. So I want to show you what was happening on the fear and greed index at that time. So if we look at that, this is right here on the fear and greed index. So you can see we were popping in and out of extreme fear. This was not as consistently in extreme fear as these other 4 times were. So then the final one is April and May of 2022, which was the 2 months we just had. So if you look at Bitcoin in these 2 months, obviously this was another down cycle. And from the top to the bottom, this was a little bit less than 50%. All the rest have been about 50, 55%. One was 60%. So this is a little bit less, but you can see we've already started to go sideways here. Remember, this is the weekly time frame. So here's our 9 straight weeks in the red for Bitcoin, and you can see this candle is finishing up. It's currently in the green, and again, it has to stay above 29,000 29,450. We're currently at 30,070. So if we can finish above 29,450, then we will have a green candle for the first time in 10 weeks. Albeit a very small green candle, but a potential shift here, or at least a little bit of a relief. So I guess if we were to follow along the pattern of the last 3 times that this happened, then it would seem like we're at or near a bottom. And again, that is a phrase I have been using for at least a month now. So you can see this does take time. Sometimes we linger and bounce off of the bottom. But this is more evidence to me that we are bouncing off of the bottom right now. And at some point, and again, it's hard to pick a bottom, so that's why I try to take a dollar cost averaging approach into things. At some point, the last 3 times that this happened, Bitcoin had a gigantic run up within the next 6 months. So I have to say, this is not financial advice. I don't know the future, right? We'll see what happens. That is how this pattern has played out each time previously over the last 4 years. We'll see if this one follows along. It seems like it is, but time will tell. If we go back to the RSI on the 1-day time frame, we did draw an ascending line here. And if you remember, several days ago, we popped over 50%, but it was only to 51%. We were there 2 days in a row. That failed. However, we did not break this trend line. As long as we stay above this trend line, I think there is a chance we can get back over 50. If we can confirm a close over 50, then we stand a chance at another one of these periods right here. And this was culminating in March 29th when Bitcoin ran up to $48,000. So that is the last time we consistently crossed 50 on the daily RSI and had an extended period of time above that. So that's what we're hoping to duplicate. We'll have to see. We clearly have not confirmed that in any way yet, but that's the action that I'm looking for. So over the course of this week, that's what I'll be looking at. Can we hold this trend line and get back over 50 and start to make a run? Or does this line fail and we continue to trade sideways in this channel we've been stuck in for well over a month now? So that's what I'll be looking for in the week ahead. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. So we will see you in tomorrow's update. Good luck trading in the morning. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.